Smoked salmon mousse, smoked salmon en Pauiette, smoked salmon mousse Roulade, smoked salmon mousse terrine. There's so many endless names for all the same thing. And there are some really crappy recipes out there, but that's not of your concern any longer, because today you and I will cook the most perfect version. Now, when I was 25 years old, I was awarded 18 out of 19 points at Go-Mio and became the youngest chef in Europe to achieve such an award. To celebrate, I booked myself a table at Salmon, the restaurant run by the chef I admired the most, Jean Robuchon in Paris. Menu on that day started with the dish I will cook with you today. It's a simple dish, and when you read the recipe or the original recipe, there are some serious pitfalls, and I will show you how it's done perfectly, deciphering for you any possible pitfalls so that success for you is guaranteed, because it is my passion to bring the chef out in you. And off we go. Let's make our smoked salmon mousse roulade en Pauiette. Place the blender in the fridge. It needs to be cold. If your blender is too warm, the fat from the salmon can separate and it will break like a broken mayonnaise or a broken hollandaise. So anything needs to be cold. The blender needs to be cold, the salmon needs to be cold, the cream needs to be cold, the butter needs to be cold. Basically all the equipment and all the ingredients need to be fridge cold. If you keep it too warm, it can break, and if it breaks, you cannot fix it. So while everything chills, you can do a few other things like whipping the cream. Now most recipes will tell you that you should fully whip the cream, like it's done when you serve it on the side. But if you do that with a mousse, it will break again. A fully whipped cream and too firm, it cannot take any more movement, otherwise it will break, where the fat and the water will separate. So you mix it through your smoked salmon and the cream is over whipped and the fat will break, and then suddenly you get butter lumps, the whole thing becomes liquid and everything's just gone wrong, and there's no way of return. When you get to that, you basically messed it up. Okay, the cream is fully whipped, and you can see that basically when it leaves the first few ribbons. So then place the cream into the fridge, and let's get on with the casing. Some cling wrap onto your chopping board. I tell you, I hate cling wrap. I fucking hate that stuff, you know. It's basically plastic, but this is one of the two recipes you need it. But maybe you have a better suggestions. Anyway, I look forward hearing your opinion in the comments below. So, next thing, we just cut out all the nice pieces of the smoked salmon. Don't worry about all the trimmings. The trimmings will blend up and they go into the mousse later on. Then cover with another layer of cloud wrap or baking paper and gently flatten the smoked salmon sheets out. Use a rolling pin and empty wine bottle. Close up any holes and then basically put it on a plate in the fridge. Next, you soak the gelatin in cold tap water. I could tell you so much about gelatin. Some people get really confused, size, strength, powder. I think I basically should do another video just on gelatin. So, stock. I use a highly aromatic shellfish stock. You can of course use a chicken stock, a vegetable stock, anything, but it needs to have a good taste. So I warm that stock up a bit. When the gelatin has softened after a few minutes, I add it into the hot liquid. Make sure you stir it well, make sure it's completely soaked. Blend the salmon with the butter. First, we season the salmon mousse with some Worcestershire sauce and Tabasco sauce, all in small amounts. You don't want to taste them. The function is to give an underlying punch to the mousse. It's a bit like, you know, the bass player in a great rock band. You don't notice it, but if it's not there, the song sounds flat. And so is it with those spices. Now blend it again till it's smooth. So you add the stock to it as well. If you don't have a good blender, the bits have not fully dissolved, you need to work it a bit harder and push the mixture through a fine sieve. I show you that here. I know it's painful. It's so often with French cooking. You know, the French, when it comes to cooking, are like the Germans of engineering, and vice versa. The French, they build crappy cars, and the Germans are not known for their great cuisine. You know what I get? But anyway, I better move on here. Then take the cream out of the fridge, mix it through the mousse, and you can see now, yes, you can keep whipping it a bit more. It will become a bit harder because the cream will keep stiffening, and by the end I have a super homogeneous smoked salmon mousse. Great, isn't it? Now into the fridge where it will harden due to the gelatin, which is a protein which hardens when it reaches fridge temperature. That's it. Now we just have to assemble it, and so far I'm sure you agree there is nothing magic with it. After 30 or 40 minutes in the fridge, it's all firmed up, and it does not look like mine. If it's still a bit runny, I put it back in the fridge till it firms up like mine. Next, you get your smoked salmon sheets out of the fridge and place it onto your table. Remove the top layer, spoon or pipe the mousse onto it, and then gently roll it together. Don't worry if it overlaps or it does not fully close. It's not ideal, but you can get away with it. Just place that bottom layer then onto the plate, and next time tell yourself you're gonna do it better. That's what I always tell myself, and sometimes it even works. So you see, if it's not having a nice shape, you can fix it. If you don't do that, what I'm going to show you here now, it always turns out a mess, as the mousse is simply too soft. When you cut it, you squish it. Get a layer of tin foil, gently roll it in the foil, and then gently twist the ends so that it will firm up and turn into the perfect round shape. Keep twisting it until it's solid. And part 2 of my trick is place it into the freezer for at least 2 hours. The outside will freeze and protect it from the pressure of your plate when you cut it. Now a bit more on this. You can make this smoked salmon mousse literally weeks in advance, and you can freeze it, and it's great that way for a dinner party. Already in the freezer. It will not suffer in quality. All you need to do is take it out of the freezer, let it sit for 30 minutes, and then you cut it. And then you let it fully defrost on the serving plate, like you see here. God, does that make me feel good when I tell you those tricks. In that way, you can have a stress-free dinner party. You can have a nice aperitif with your guests instead of slaving and stress. Cut it, a sharp incision. I remove the cling wrap and the foil onto the plate. Top it with some sour cream, which I mix with a little bit of wasabi or so to give it a sort of horseradish flavor. A salmon caviar, bit of dill, chervil, chive tips, whatever you want. And then you can serve a little salad on the side, which you can find in my online courses if you click at the link below. And that's finished. And basically, that's what I do for dinner party, you know. The last thing I want to do at a dinner party is starting to cook. I mean, you want to be the host, you want to be the chef, you want to be the waiter, you want to be the kitchen, and some people even manage to be the sommelier too. Now it's a bit too much, isn't it? So one thing you can cut out is the cooking. If you do dishes like that, I can have my entree made up, I can have my dessert made up, the main course. Well, there's lots of other dishes you can sort of almost finish off, like a nice beef burgundy, which you can see in one of my other videos. So if you enjoyed this recipe and the technique, then head over to my other videos, like my salmon palatine, similar dish but totally different flavor. Fuck, that looks good. That's really fucking good. Believe me. I wish you would be here. But then, at the same time, I'm pretty happy on my own, because if you would be here, I probably would eat it all up over my own. It's more for me. See you next time.